So, Joanna, how long have you been involved in corporate hospitality?
I started in corporate hospitality involvement in '99 actually. I was involved with the organising of a cricket match down in the island. And I just thought, gosh, the island is absolutely stunning. There's so much you can do down here. And all the cricketers' wives came down and were watching, and they were just blown away with how lovely the island was. So that was June '99. And then that following Christmas I thought, what can I do that brings teams to the island, and began Wight Ventures in that January, February, and had my first event in the June, which was actually the Round the Island race, and chartered a boat, cooked on it, and we had about 5 or 6 events that year, and then it just sort of went on from there, really.
And what sort of events did you run with Wight Ventures?
I had rib treasure hunts and mountain biking. Sometimes they would ring me and say they wanted a conference in the morning and then something fun in the afternoon. So it would depend on how many there were, and obviously what they wanted. It worked really well. They always used to feel they were sort of coming away on holiday when they come to the island.
So what makes the island a good venue?
I think it's relatively easy to get to, and it's pretty quick. I mean, you can be here from London in under 2.5 hours, and it's the stretch of water. I think it's just that stretch of water, so special. Have to get on the ferry, and virtually everyone who comes just says they feel different when they get off the ferry, and I think that's what makes it special. It's a little bit slower, the roads are narrower, the cars drive slower, it's just all a bit slower, and that's why I love it down here. The island has good selection of venues. What it probably doesn't have is your massive 200-bed hotel. But then the island is different, so people come to the island if they want that, they can stay in Southampton, I think.
Do you think companies' requirements from hospitality and venues are changing at all?
They're probably wanting a few more unique things to do, I should think. I found that even with Wight Ventures, every time it's like, can you do something a bit more special? Can you do something a bit different?
What about events on the island? Which are the good ones for organising hospitality around?
There are a lot of outdoor events. There's a lot of you could do things like the fireworks and at Osborne House, or you have jazz festivals, and you have the Old Gaffers Festival in Yarmouth, and obviously you've got Cows Week and all the other sailing events which are good. The season certainly is stretching. It's getting longer.
Now, for the last few years, you've been running your own event, the Wight Challenge. Tell me about that.
Yes, the Wight Challenge is an annual event. It's an 18-mile cycle, 3-mile canoe, 8-mile run, done in teams of 3. And it's based at Jersey Camp in Porchfield. And we began in 2004, and so this year is going to be our 7th year. And it's grown every year as word spreads. It seems to be very popular. We began by supporting Dreams Come True, and last year we changed to Wessex Heartbeat in Southampton, and just handed over £26,000, so that was very exciting. Yes, the teams have to stick together, so it's an absolute classic team building event. They have one map for the whole day. So the first year I still gave one map, and then at the end one runner would run over the finishing line. It's like, well, where are your teammates? And he had the map in his hand. So it's like, they're coming. It's like 20 minutes later, the rest of the team comes in. And time is taken when the last person crosses the line. So you might get one person having a puncture, and the others say, oh, we'll meet you at the end. Well, that's pointless, because the time isn't going to get taken until that last person crosses the line. So they have to stick with the person and help them. Last year we had a guy and 2 girls. One of the bikes broke, or it was just down to 1 gear or something. So they swapped bikes, and then the fitter person rode the dud bike, and it's good actually. You hear a good story, and sometimes they bungee themselves together and are running along just to keep the weaker person going.
So was it originally intended as a corporate event?
Yes, it was as a sort of add-on to Wight Ventures. It's like, what can I do that's an annual event that I set the date and the time and everything, and that people can sign up to do. And initially we had teams from Wight and SB Systems, investors putting in teams, so that was very pleasing. We also get several types of people. We get the fun runners who are just pleased to get round, and they usually end up raising the most money. Then you get the competitive guys who do marathons, triathlons, and they also send money in, but just about scratch the minimum. And then you get the teams who are sent in from their corporates, who are often match funded by their companies, which is great. As we've had two auction houses in West Sussex who sent in, and they doubled up what they sent in. So it's a very pleasing one. There's a company in Lymington called Ineos, and they sent in 7 teams the last 5-6 years. Been really supportive, and the banter that goes on in the office apparently is just begins now, because we've opened for registration and goes on till well after the event. I had visions of it getting much, much bigger, but actually, because of the logistics of having people on the water, we can't really get many more than about 20 canoes on the water at a time. So we're capping it at 45 teams. I've looked into doing 2 events a year, but September is a really good time of year for it, because the ground is hard. So I've looked into doing it in May, and it was just really squelchy through the fields. So September's a good time of year. So we'll just have to raise the stakes, I think. And actually we're saying this year that first come, first serve, and if you can't get in, you're on a waiting list. When I began the Wight Challenge, I marketed it through word of mouth, and I put up posters, and also the West Wight Sports Centre were really helpful, because they do a triathlon similar time of year, and I asked them if we could if they could help me market it, and they sent out posters with their mail out for their triathlon. And actually it did work, because for the second event they also sent out posters, and I got a phone call from the Falklands in April saying he just got my poster. And I couldn't believe it. I said, well, I didn't send one to the Falklands, how did you get that? And it was from the triathlon mail out. And they brought 3 army teams. They were on leave in September, and they said we want to do the Wight Challenge in September. So that was a really good. And then it's just we've now got a website, wightchallenge.co.uk, which people are starting to find us as well. And also Wessex Heartbeat have been really good about promoting it through their website, and they do a lot of leaflets. They do newsletters and things like that. So that's why I think last year we were full with a waiting list, because Wessex Heartbeat had helped us a lot.